recognize Ms. Norton from Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Shapley and Mr. Ziegler, thank you for being here today. We're obviously going to talk a lot in this hearing about the investigation into Hunter Biden's taxes. So I think it's important that we set the scene and make it clear what type of investigation we're talking about. Mr. Ziegler, what year did you open the Hunter Biden investigation?
That was 2018, November of 2018.
2018. Thank you. The Department of Justice announced a plea agreement with Hunter Biden last month. So I estimate that you spent 4 or 5 years on this investigation, Mr. Ziegler?
That would be correct.
Mr. Ziegler, in your testimony before the Ways and Means Committee, you said that when your time working on the investigation ended, it was both, and him I'm quoting, 99.9% done, that's end quote, and that you had, here I'm quoting again, worked to complete 95% of the investigation, end quote. Given this testimony, is it fair to say, Mr. Ziegler, that in the years that you spent on the investigation, you saw it nearly to completion?
So that reference was to the tax case. So the tax investigation, as far as all the work that we had done regarding that, 99% of that had been done to that date. Exactly.
Mr. Shapley, on page 12 of your transcript, of the transcript from your interview with the Ways and Means Committee, you described the IRS team that worked on this investigation as consisting of, and here I'm quoting, 12 elite agents who were selected based on their experience and performance in the area of complex, high-dollar international tax investigations, end quote. Mr. Shapley, how serious are the investigations undertaken by these elite agents?
I'm not sure I understand how to answer your question. How serious?
Yes. Do they have to be very serious to be undertaken by such elite agents?
Well, I think I can answer this. So we got to treat each taxpayer the same. That's the most important part. We're kind of the agents with the International Tax Group that come in there and that we have the expertise to work these complex financial investigations. So whether they're more serious or we have to treat each person, each taxpayer the same. And that's what I try to do in my job.
Yeah, I was referring to these particularly complex high-dollar tax concerns. I understand you have to give equal treatment. Mr. Ziegler, you called Hunter Biden investigations a, quote, complex criminal tax investigation, end quote. And I understand that it was an interagency effort involving the IRS, the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware, and DOJ's tax division in D.C. Mr. Ziegler, is it fair to say that this sort of interagency team is only assembled for serious and complex investigations?
So I can only speak to what happened in this particular investigation. The reason why other agencies might join an investigation, that just depends on the crimes we're investigating. Us at the IRS, we are the only agency in the federal government that is allowed to investigate tax crimes. So that's why you have to have, if you have a tax crime case, you have to have the IRS on that case.
Yeah, and you had lots of other agencies as well. Look, it sounds like Hunter Biden's taxes were subject to a great deal of scrutiny and rigorous review by a large team of expert investigators who had experience working complex cases. This investigation occurred over several years, spanned multiple agencies and divisions, and had an expert team. The time, personnel, and other sources devoted to this investigation make it abundantly clear that this investigation was taken seriously by both the IRS and DOJ. While our witnesses here today may disagree with the U.S. Attorney's decisions, it is undeniable that Hunter Biden was subject to a thorough and rigorous investigation. I thank you, and I yield to the ranking member.
Gentlelady yields back, and as we promised the witnesses, we're going to take a 10-minute recess at